Suneera Madhani. Suneera Madhani.
Without much further ado, I'd like to welcome Suneera.
Hi, I'm Suneera Madhani, a mom of two, daughter of an immigrant, and an unlikely entrepreneur who built a billion-dollar business. Yes, billion. Now I'm doing it again and building my second unicorn, Worth. Shockingly, less than 2% of female founders ever reach 1 million in revenue, and I'm on a mission to change that. At CEO School, we mentor thousands of women to help them level up in business and in life. We believe that you deserve to have it all because honestly, nothing bad happens when women make more money. Grab a seat because class is officially in session. Welcome to CEO School. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the CEO School podcast. It's Suneera here, and I'm so excited to be in the studio today. It is a crisp fall in Orlando. When I say crisp, it's actually probably just like 68 degrees, but I've got a nice blazer on. It feels like fall, and when the weather is changing, it's my favorite thing in the entire world, and I'm just so grateful to be here. There's so much to catch up on today. Today's episode, we're going to be diving into all of the lessons that we shared and learned during our Millionaire Founders Club retreat in Tucson. I just got back. I've been on, I think, 6 different flights in the last 10 days. I want to give you all the updates. But before I give you all the updates, I have a ritual that I do. And I love rituals. Rituals put you in such a great mood. And for me, when I come into the studio, something that I am absolutely obsessed with, besides my awesome team and our podcast team, they always bring me a cup of tea. And you've seen this in the shots and in the videos. Like I always have this, yogi tea, and it always has a sweet message on the tea. And it just always puts me in just whatever I need. I feel like, just like the Dove chocolate. Like you hear what you want to hear, and it's just so awesome. And I want to share it with you. It says, gratitude is not about what is received. Gratitude is not about what is received. It's about how you receive what is there. Oh my God, that is so incredible. So gratitude is not about what is received. It's about how you receive what is there. And it's so true. And it's such a great reminder. And I have been in such a place of gratitude this year, and there's so much in front of me. And I am doing my best to receive it in the most amazing way. And we're not perfect all the time. And it's just a great reminder that the how we receive is so important, not just the what. And I'm so grateful for all of you. I feel like I get to share it with you, and I feel like my authenticity and the love that I have for this community, for this show, for the women that I get to serve. I am so grateful that I wear this title. I get asked everywhere I go, I feel like I'm constantly almost defending CEO School. I feel like every room, it's like, oh, and you do this, and you have this. And it almost sometimes feels like it comes from a place of like, oh, you've got so much going on. And it is true. I get to wear so many of these titles. I get to do CEO School, but I do it because I absolutely love it. This is the longest thing I've ever been consistent with in doing in my life, besides like obviously being, wearing, my mother title. I've had this show since 2020, and it's been a weekly show. I don't know like about you, but there are not a lot of things that I show up consistently every single week for, right? That has a title that I wear that's not my family. And this has been something that I've been doing for so long. And there have been moments, of course, that it's hard. And I've thought about like, do I want to continue? Do I want to do it? But the why always pulls me back. And the reason I have been showing up for 4.5 years here is because I love it. And I am so grateful that I get to do this because of the women on the other side. I always feel like whenever I travel or I go to conferences, and I'm part of so many other amazing things for women in business, like that is part of what I do. It's part of who I am. And in every room, I feel like I get to take all of you with me. And the thing that I feel the most is that our women are just incredibly special. Like I know you don't know this, and you're like, how do you know this? And I know you're listening, and I know you. I feel like I know exactly who you are. And you are the most incredible CEO. You care with your heart. You want the best for your family, for your teams, for your community. You are doing the things that you're doing to go build this business because you are a value-based human. Like, I know that about you because that is who I am. And I know that the audience that I'm speaking to and the women that I serve every single week and every single one of you listening just has that same heart. And I feel your heart. And I'm so connected to your heart. And I just feel so much gratitude and love for that. And that's why I get to be here. And that's why I show up. And I just love you. And so I just want you to know before I kick off this episode that I love you so much. And that I hope that you are having all of your dreams like come into the reality this year, and that everything you want is happening for you. And that you do have a cheerleader on the other side that is obsessed with you and that is obsessed with what you're doing just as equally. And I just feel so much love and so much gratitude. And so that's what I want to share before we get started. And with that gratitude and all the things, I want to give you all of these updates, so many updates. And I have been on the road for the last few weeks. I just got back from Tucson, Arizona. I got back from Money 2020. It was incredible. It was the hardest event I have ever worked on. It was so fantastic. Check, all the things. My team shined. It was really hard putting on such a large caliber event, but everyone showed up. All the things went as smoothly as they could, and Damon was incredible. I'd love to share some of the highlights of that conversation a different time. I don't want to make this episode about that event, but it was wonderful. And, the Worth brand and the Worth name and the things I wanted to go accomplish got accomplished. Now is the part that is like post follow-up, all the execution and making sure that the ROI on the event was totally worth it. And I'm definitely a very metric-driven CEO, which I hope you are becoming as well. And so now it's all about those follow-ups to ensure that we get the return on investment for hijacking this awesome event that we did, and it's this large conference. And so that's what my team is working on at Worth, and we're working on closing up the end of year. I would love to come back and share with you what I'm doing to close up the year and how I'm planning for 2025. So look out for in the next couple of weeks. I'll be sharing that's what's happening in real time in my life. And so I want to be sharing that real time with all of you on how we're planning to close up the end of the year. What are things that we're looking at for 2025 in budgeting, in our finances, in our KPIs, and just resetting, even from a team, all the things. And so I'd love to share that with you. So that's where my Worth brain is at right now. And post Money 2020 got back, and then we have our Millionaire Founders Club retreat. And it is, of course, every time I do 2 retreats a year. There's a spring retreat and a fall retreat. And I've been doing it also for 4 years. And MFC has become this, I'm so proud of what I've built here in this community, in this program. And it was all about, we would do these retreats, or I would do these retreats. And post after, it's what happens post after? How do we really create that community that will continue to connect, and to do business and to support each other and to grow that sisterhood? And that's really what Millionaire Founders Club was really about, was to bring together women at this next stage in business, 7-figure plus, 8-figure plus, exited founders, multi-passionate business women that came together in the room. Bring them together and I say, we're going to commit to meeting twice a year, and we're going to commit to being a cohort in a group, not just for one time, but we're going to continue. And so the vision was that. And earlier this year, we did our first event in Nashville, which was so great. But when you do something for the first time in that large of a caliber, there are things that I loved about it. There are things that I wanted to improve upon it. And so I feel like I was able to really, now the second time around, I was like, this is exactly what my vision is for programming. This is exactly what my vision is for the networking part of it. $1 million deals was something that, came about in the first Nashville retreat. Was we're bringing 50 women together to do business, not just with each other, right? So it's not just not just with each other, which is happening, and that's incredible, but through our networks. Right. So how do we leverage I'm coming to the table. How do I leverage my entire network to bring value to you that you're in the room? And how do you leverage your entire your network to leverage value for me? And so we created this incredible network session, and we do it multiple times through the event, and it's called $1 Million Deals. And literally for an hour, we're literally creating $1 million deals. And this last year, our women did over $175 million worth of deals through their networks. And so super incredible, so powerful. And we brought it back again in Tucson. And this time we added more members. So we had 75 CEOs in the room, 75 7+ figure CEOs. Just that in and of itself is like the biggest energy vortex ever. Like just bringing all of these women together in a single room. I will do my best to try to explain that energy. It was definitely a vortex of big business energy, right? Life energy, purpose energy, heart energy. The conversations were not just powerful and insightful, they were honest, they were heartfelt. And we all just left feeling not only with our wallets full of all of the business, but our hearts really like just fueled and inspired. And so it was such a magical place. If you haven't been to Tucson, we were at the Ritz-Carlton in Tucson. It is a magical resort. It was so awesome to go there with that many women. We did an awesome morning hike. We had just incredible programming through the day, and it was awesome. And I'm using this word so much, but it was so incredible. And with that, I did write down my top 10 lessons that I do want to share with you. So top 10 lessons that I learned this last weekend. And post the retreat, I had to jet set around post afterwards. I had a stop in LA on Friday night for the Baby to Baby Gala, which is an incredible organization. I'm going to link the organization in show notes. Philanthropy is a huge part of our values as a family. And so Faisal and I, where we give back are women and, women and families and women and children. Our children are something that are also really near and dear to us. So we've aligned ourselves with organizations that support our value alignment as for family and business. And so Baby to Baby was so awesome. It is the most like star-studded gala there is. Chrissy Teigen was there. I got a chance to meet Katy Perry. I got a chance to finally connect with a deeper conversation with Mindy Kaling. Like all of the coolest, the home edit women were there, and they were my faves. Like just it was so fun. And so Faisal and I had an awesome night, a date night in LA, and then from there, the next day, I literally flew at 4 a.m. to attend my best friend's baby shower. So she's pregnant with twins. And I was just so excited to celebrate the babies, and also showed up for that. So it's been really, really intense. And I leave again for my final trip of the year to the United Nations, where I will be receiving an award from an organization called We Do, which is Women Entrepreneurs Day organization. And at the UN, we're going to be celebrating the Entrepreneurship Pioneer Award. So I'm really excited for that. And I'm bringing my mom and the girls. I'll also be keynoting at Princeton University this weekend. And so this is the final leg. But let me tell you, I am definitely at my physical end of travel. So I'm beat, I'm done. But I do still, the reason why I can keep going and the energy that I have doesn't stop is because I just feel like I finally feel in alignment with all the things that I love and the things that I want to support. I feel like I have created the world around me that supports that. And there's so much exciting opportunity. Like this whole year, I've been presented with the most beautiful opportunities that the younger me has worked so hard to receive. And so I want to receive it with gratitude and excitement and not with stress and, oh, I have to do this thing. I get to do all of this. And so it has carried me really far. And I can recognize that it is time, to break, and we're about to go into the holidays. Thanksgiving is about to be here, and I cannot wait to turn it off and just be with my family. And travel season is over for the next few weeks. And I've made an executive decision that we're not going to be, every year we do a trip in December with the family as well. And we're just going to stay home. So I'm so excited to be home for the holidays, like so cliche, home for the holidays. I'm just so excited to be in my house and in my backyard and with my dog and in Orlando and beautiful weather and just to just be home. And so that's the update. That is the update. And if you're listening to this episode and you want to send me some love, send me some love. I would love some love. You can share your love on Instagram. I would love for you to leave a review. If you've gotten anything positive out of this show over the last, this last year, this last season, leave me a review. This is how we grow the show. I read these reviews and I would really love to hear your words so that others can also be part of our incredible community of CEOs. So please do that for me. I would really, really appreciate it. Okay, so going back to why I am on this episode is to share our top lessons from 75 successful, highly driven CEOs. Lesson number 1. So we've got 10 to get through. And so I'm going to give you a lot. If you want to pull out a notepad or if you want to re-listen to this episode, this is definitely one to save to come back to. So lesson number 1, and I'm also taking this and putting it onto the newsletter so that you can also review this on the newsletter. So the newsletter is Big Business Energy. If you do not subscribe to the newsletter, it comes out every single Wednesday at noon. So every Wednesday, it's in your inbox, and it is all the things that I'm doing for the week, but it's based on the lessons that I'm learning as CEO. So it's super value driven. It's relevant as well because I write it personally every single week. So nobody touches this podcast and nobody touches the newsletter. So subscribe to I'll say that part again. So subscribe to Big Business Energy. All right. So lesson number 1, alignment is everything. How funny I use that word. It's in my brain. Like balance is bullshit, right? Balance is absolutely bullshit. But when you know what matters most and when you can align your life and business with your core values, it becomes so much easier to make decisions that feel right and that lead to real fulfillment because there's alignment. Alignment is everything. And so the takeaway that we got is that you must truly reflect on what aligns with your vision, right? And make choices that reinforce that decision. So what is your ultimate vision and what aligns with everything that you should be doing should be in alignment with that vision. And if you're not clear on your alignment, right, and you're doing things so for example, if I'm, there's so much philanthropy that I could do in so many different ways. And this year, and I'll give a perfect example, I did an amazing campaign for American Heart Association. It was awesome. My father died of a heart attack, and it was really, really difficult. And I loved that organization, and I supported that organization. But when I really reflected on where my alignment is of my vision and where I want to be in my workspace, where I want to be in my life space, it's around women, right? That's what my entire world is about. So although I want to support the American Heart Association, I can do so in different ways. I need to be leveraging my platforms, the things I say yes to, around women or women and children. Like that's where I need to be. So an organization that fits better alignment for me is 100 Women Strong, right? It aligns with my community, it aligns with supporting women, baby to baby, right? It is a charitable organization specifically for women and children. Children is a huge part of where Faisal and I give back. And so alignment, it has to be perfectly aligned. And so that American Heart Association example, so it's not I don't want to, it's just, it has to all align. And so things need to all kind of fall in sync with that. And that's also reflective of our alignment in our business. And that's really important. If you want to start a podcast, there are all these other personal projects that you might have or where you want your brand to be, it still has to be in alignment with your end vision. And when you have that, everything else really falls into place. And it's a lot easier to say yes to the things that align and be very clear about the things that you should say no to. So alignment is everything. Number 2, set boundaries that reflect your values. I mean, this is a no-brainer. Boundaries are essential to protect what you value. So when you set boundaries around your time and your energy, you're prioritizing what matters and you avoid distractions, right? So the takeaway here is start by defining what are the non-negotiables in your life and in your business and create boundaries to protect them. this will keep you focused, energized, and doing the right things as well, right? And so I really struggle with this. I've struggled with this my entire life. I still struggle with setting boundaries. I have a really hard time. I'm a people pleaser. I have a really hard time saying no. I will say yes even when I don't want to. I will let other people's, even if I have set a boundary, I don't set them in a way where it protects. Like sometimes I know that it's depleting my energy or that it is consuming more of my time. I have a really hard time with setting boundaries. And so I just need this lesson every time. And it never comes from me. So this lesson actually wasn't one of the ones that I shared. This was a key reflection of me coming back and saying, yes, Suneera, boundaries are important. And there is nothing wrong with having boundaries. And saying no is important. And protecting your time is important. And protecting your energy is important. And so I needed this reminder. And so if you are like me, which I suspect you are, you might have a tough time with boundaries too. And I know that many immigrant daughters, older daughters, just women in general, we just struggle with this. And so I feel you. And so I'm just being reminded of that. So I want to remind you of that. So exciting times. 2025 is around the corner. We're going to be setting our boundaries, and let's reflect on that. And I don't think you don't have to be an asshole when you set boundaries, right? So it's just protecting the things that you want to protect. And when you are in alignment, you know what your values are. Let's make sure that life aligns that way and work aligns that way as well. All right, number 3, my favorite lesson always comes up: do, delegate, delete, right? This is something that also came up during our panel, Balance is Bullshit. And this is something that I have been teaching for years, is this process of do, delete, and delegate. And the part of deleting is so important because we always talk about delegation, or we're adding more and more and more, but when's it time to just delete stuff, right? So when's it time to just ruthlessly say, hey, this is not adding any more value to the business or to life. Like, we just need to delete this. And so that was a huge reminder as well. A key takeaway is to review your tasks, to do your time audit. So that's something that I've always taught in Founders Club, is to do your time audit each week, review what you're working on, and truly say what is important, what can be removed, what you can be, what do you have to do, and then what else can be delegated, right? So we have this concept of $10 tasks versus $1,000 tasks, and you should be doing the $1,000 tasks, not the $10 tasks. So how can you continue to delegate those things off? And what is actually important for you to do. And so do, delegate, delete, a huge reminder on focusing on what's essential, discarding what isn't, and delegating what others can handle. So reminder number 3. All right, number 4, build a personal board of directors. I love this. Surround yourself with advisors who support your vision and challenge your thinking, but that also holds you accountable, right? And so we go about life thinking that we have to do it all on our own, right? And especially as CEOs, you're listening, you're business owners, and you understand that concept of having your business advisors or your business, board of directors. But what about your personal board of directors, right? And so who are your mentors that you align with that can ensure that you're on track? And who are the people around you that can, push you to your next level best? And if we're not going to have any sort of accountability, even in our personal lives, you're going to stay, you're going to stay where you're at. And so growth is a huge part of what I love to do. I'm constantly growing and evolving, and I don't do it by myself. And so who's on my personal board of directors is always a personal coach. So I always have a personal coach. I've had one for the last 10 years now, and I'm inviting Laura to be on the show coming up for a really fun series. I literally just got off the phone with her right before this podcast. I cannot wait for you to be active in our conversations. But I also have coaches in other ways too. So I've whenever I need to get something done in my life, I'll put somebody in that will hold me accountable to it. Also, you don't have to pay to have a advisor, right? Mentors are there, and I have key mentors in my life. I have 2 key mentors in my life that have been there also for a very long time. And I would not be where I'm at without their vision for me, without their push, without their alignment, without their guidance, without me checking in to ensure that I'm doing things about in the right way. But I pick up the phone and I ask my personal board of advisors before I make key decisions, right? And I built that, and if you don't have that today, that's okay. Let's build that. Who are the key relationships that, you've invested in? These are relationships that I've invested in for so long, that have invested back with me, and they're not paid. So I've got paid advisors and I've got unpaid advisors. And I think what's so great about Millionaire Founders Club is we've almost become our own board of directors there. And so you can have friends that are in different industries or in different whatever, but that have grown through those similar challenges and seek guidance in that way. And so if you're not part of a community like that, I highly encourage, come join us. If you are a 7-figure CEO, come join us. We have literally 20 spots. It's not like a thing, like we're literally capping it at 100 because we're investing so much into our own relationships with each other. And so there's like 75 of us right now, or 77, I think was the last count, or something like that. But there's a few spots. I'd love for you to join us. But surround yourself with an amazing board of directors, air quotes, board of directors. Okay, lesson number 5, always know your numbers. Financial clarity is essential for confident decision-making. And we talked so much about, it wasn't just about business, right? So business was a huge part of it, but life as well. Like we have to know our stuff. Like right now, I'm going through an entire personal exercise right now because I have been so focused on all my business KPIs. I have a new startup this last year, 18 months in building the new company. I've been so heads down there that I've almost like my life is on autopilot. And it is important for me to recalibrate. I need to know my numbers to ensure that everything is still, and I have an incredible partner that I trust in that, he is our lead in our personal finance side, but that doesn't mean that I need to just not know it. Right. And so it was a great, I'm going through some exercises right now to ensure that we have our financial meetings back on track, which include like every single month we do reflection on last month. We have like a finance meeting the first day of the month of the previous month. So, let's say December 1st, we're going to reflect on November. And Faisal and I have a finance date, and we actually treat ourselves to a foot massage that day. So that's our reward to get through a day date of talking numbers with your husband, which is we turn it into somewhat fun, but it's a check-in. You got to have that check-in. And you got to reset and recalibrate and make sure everything went according to plan. And so I also have this has been a practice of mine forever with our CFO and on the business side. So wherever you are, if you're doing it on the personal side and you're not doing it on the business side, reminder, you need to want to know your numbers. So yes, you have a bookkeeper. Yes, you have the accountant. Yes, you have the financial advisor. Yes, you have this, whoever's on, of all the people and the players, but you have to know your numbers. And this is something that is as a CEO, it's your most important job is to know where your cash flow is, to know where your KPIs are, to be able to forward forecast your business. All of these business decisions are made because of you knowing your numbers. So although you're delegating off and someone else can handle the tactical and the work behind it, you have to be the driver of it. So no excuse there in your business. And super important that you do this on your personal side. It's end of year. And let's ensure that we plan 2025 accordingly. So I hope this is a good reminder. All of these should be great reminders. Number 6, the lesson is to dream big and visualize even bigger. So let yourself dream boldly. Stop, doubting yourself in your own mind, and let the vision just take place. What could it look like if everything went according to plan? What could it look like, right? And even bigger than you even thought possible. So that is how I want you to think about your business, with that level of boldness and vision. And that's how I want for your life as well. And so give yourself permission to dream big. And when you do that, the universe comes into alignment and is also like, yeah, let's go do this. Let's open up those doors and those opportunities. So I do believe that what we think, right, what we attract. So let's open those doors and attract endless abundance. Number 7. This should be the last lesson. This should be the biggest lesson. But number 7, your network is your net worth. Yes, your network is your net worth, period. I mean, your connections and your network can be game changer for your business and in life. And relationships are literally the thing that you carry with you all through your life. And it's not going to happen overnight, but you have to build the right relationships and the right network. And you have to invest your time and energy into building that network. We've come into this place, and we've talked about this on the show, I think every week, if not, forever, that relationships are literally the most important thing that we have. And you have to invest in them, and you have to be the one to give value in order for you to receive. So we've become so transactional in the business world. We're also becoming transactional now in our personal world. And I believe that the keys to success is to stop that behavior and to be authentic and to invest and to be patient and to give, and you will receive. And so focus on building relationships, and focus on building relationships with people who inspire you, who challenge you, who support you, who have done things that are that you're aspiring to do, but also don't discount the ones that are your peers, and don't discount the ones that are right before you either. And so I think that that's what it is. We're always looking ahead, but we're not looking who's around us in our network. Who are our peers right there that I can lean over and also get value from or give value to. And you'd be surprised at at the Millionaire Founders Club, that was so, it wasn't just real, it was happening. $1 million deals happened because we were reaching across and not above, right? And I do believe in reaching below and pulling up too. And there's so much value in that, because this is just how it all works. So reminder, your network is your net worth. Number 8, mastermind with peers, right? I think I don't even have to give you more on this. It really is, find a group of like-minded entrepreneurs and surround yourself with them, right? And meet regularly. So one of the things that, we're all busy CEOs, and why I love what we do at CEO School is we allow opportunities for you to connect across wherever you are in your revenue stage or wherever you are in your business. So we've got Founders Club as well that meets digitally, and then Millionaire Founders Club that meets in person, right? And you can create a group of peers and meet once a month, even digitally on Zoom, to test your ideas, to share your challenges, to get feed forward and feedback from the group. And that's, again, going back to that board of advisors. I think a big lesson is you don't have to do it alone. And so investing the time to do it there's so much value. And sometimes we're just in that grind and we're in the go. We need to be able to pull ourselves out of it. And so mastermind with your peers, spend one afternoon, right? Couple of hours, 4 hours, get yourself a peer group. You can come join ours. You can come join us inside of CEO School as well, and connect and learn from each other. Number 9, we had such an incredible discussion with the editor at large at Forbes. And she was in the room, and Manita Ahuja, and she was so incredible. She shared so many insights on how to get your story heard, how to land on these prestigious lists, such as the Forbes 30 Under 30, all the things. And at the end of the day, even what every reporter or every journalist or award or anything, they're just looking for authenticity in your story as well. So it's not just about the success or the what, right? It's about you and your how and your why. That is a part that's missing. And that's where that transaction versus a relationship part also ties back in here, because you have to identify and share those parts of your story. And your story matters. And so share it and capture attention to it in different ways. And whether it's as, sharing that on social media, or when you're sharing that with your customers, or you're sharing that, in an interview, making sure that those parts of you come out, it's really impactful and meaningful. And so that was a really awesome takeaway that we had there. And then lastly, number 10 puts us right on time. Give yourself some grace. It's a journey, right? It's so easy to live, and we had so much conversation about social media this time around. I mean, it's so easy to live in comparison. We have so much access to knowledge that we've never had, right? And even access to what our competitors are doing, right? What our industries look like, what's happening in the world. There's so much information, and we're always looking for this next milestone or the next thing versus just focusing on what we have here, right? What's in front of us. And 10 years I spent chasing the next accolade and the next accolade and the next accolade. And I was heads down on it was 100 million in value. Then it was 200 million in value. And then it was this next milestone. And then all of a sudden it was like, let's go hit the $1 billion valuation. Let's go get to that 100 million in revenue, right? So getting to that billion, your head's down and you're like, next thing. And I look up and I achieved it. But, all I was doing was that chase versus did I actually enjoy that journey and getting there? And there was so much reflection on that. And you guys have been part of that whole story and all the reflections that I did post afterwards. And I wish I enjoyed it more. I sacrificed so much of my energy, my youth, right? My children's time and their youth. I sacrificed so much in getting there and just being heads down. And I'm not going to say that it wasn't worth it. I have the life that I have because of it. But I do have a lot of lessons from it. And this time around, I'm not chasing the accolade. I'm chasing the journey. I want to enjoy the journey. And the accolades can come. That's exciting. Let's do it. But I'm not sacrificing the journey with it. And so give yourself some grace. Everything takes time. Success takes time. That journey was 10 plus years in that journey. So wherever you are getting started, the key to success is just keep going, right? Keep going, putting one foot in front of the other, and you're going to be better tomorrow than you were yesterday. A year from now, you're going to be better than you are this year. And so keep at it. And when you are at it, that's the, accumulation of success there, right? That's how you are able to get to those, to have that success. But don't forget to enjoy the journey along the way. So important. We get this one life to live, right? Business isn't the most important thing. Your life is the most important thing. Why are you building this incredible business if you are not enjoying the life that goes with it? Focus on building your life as well. And enjoy this amazing business that you're building. Enjoy the team that you get to do it with. Enjoy showing up to the meetings that you get to go to and the conferences and the late nights and whatever it takes, but enjoy the things. Enjoy it. And that is our final reminder, is to enjoy the journey and to just give yourself some grace. It takes time. And forgive yourself. I'm working on that, right? I am so hard on myself. I make so many mistakes constantly. I'm still making mistakes. And then I get wrapped up in those mistakes and I overthink those mistakes. And I have to learn to just forgive myself too. I'm human. I make mistakes and I learn from those mistakes and I carry forward. And I'm allowing to give myself grace in those moments, and I hope you're giving yourself some grace too. So final thought, I left with my cup just full, my heart full, and I feel so grateful. And it goes back to the beginning of this episode. Gratitude is not about what is received. It's about how you receive what is there. And I do feel that gratitude with all of you and all the women that I get to do this with. Continue to support each other. Let's lift each other up. It is, the holidays. Enjoy, spend time with your families. Spend time with your loved ones. And I hope you're getting some rest to recharge and refuel as well. We get next few episodes. I'm going to focus on what I'm doing to clean up and to get ready for 2025. I want this to be such an incredible year as well. I also have so many lessons from this year that I learned this year. I said yes to the most amazing opportunities, and I'm excited to put, my boundary hat on. I'm excited to protect more of my time and my energy and also do all the things that I love. And so I'm excited for you to be part of this journey with me. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please, 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 please share it. I would love to see your love on social media. Share it with your friends. I'll reshare. CEO School will reshare. Leave us a review. And I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what were your biggest takeaways or your favorite lesson from today. I'll link everything for Millionaire Founders Club as well into the show notes. So definitely go check it out if you're interested. And if you are not a 7+ figure CEO, don't worry. Join Founders Club. We have so many amazing meetups and other opportunities happening within Founders Club. I personally coach every single month. You and I will get to hang out on Zoom. I'd love to get to know your business, do a hot seat with you, and be able to support you and be one of your mentors and your board of advisors. So definitely don't miss that opportunity. It's so accessible. We have awesome promotions also always for Black Friday, all the things. So everything is linked. I can't wait to have you as part of my world. And I want to thank you for listening today, wherever you are listening. I'll see you next week on CEO School.